Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Let me make sure I'm not muted here. I think I'm okay. I can already see the chat filling up, which is my favorite part of the day at the end of our happy hours when I get to go back and read and look. No, let me just make sure I'm not missing anything here. Any notifications? No, I'm good. Okay, welcome, everyone. I'm going to give you a few more people a minute or so to sign in. Oh, Leon, there you are. Hello, hello. I'm really excited to have Leon with us today. There's just so much to share with you today. First of all, I'm going to just introduce Leon before we get started on everything else. Hi, Leon. Good to have you.
Hi, Darcie. It's great to be here. Thank you for inviting us today.
Oh my gosh, everyone. Leon is with Metis Crossing in Alberta, and you're going to see some amazing footage from Metis Crossing. I met Leon the first time, I think, at an Indigenous conference. Might even have been in Winnipeg. I'm not sure exactly where, but we've grown this amazing friendship over the short amount of time that we've known each other. And Leon's passion for Metis Crossing that's what, when I first met you, Leon, that's what really came through for me, because it's a place that really is special to you, is it not?
Yeah, absolutely. It's special to myself, and I think it's special to all the people that work here because we get to share the Métis story with people from around the world. And it's such a rich, vibrant culture. And there's really not many places like Métis Crossing that is an Indigenous owned and operated cultural destination that's operating at this scale. So yeah, we're very fortunate to be able to have all the new developments that we've had take place over the years, and also really looking forward to what's coming in the future. And I'm sure we'll have some time to talk a bit about that this afternoon.
Absolutely. So what we're going to do to start with, as most people who join our happy hours in the past know, that I'm going to cover a little bit of stuff, and then I'm going to have Leon, I'll actually have you come back in a little while, Leon, once we hit the Métis Crossing portion of our happy hour. So you can feel free to turn your camera off or leave it on. It's totally up to you. But thanks for joining us, and I hope you enjoy what we have to share today, because we are celebrating Indigenous tourism in Alberta. And I do owe a huge thank you to Indigenous Tourism Alberta, as well as Travel Alberta, because we wouldn't have been able to make this happen, and to Métis Crossing, because you guys were amazing. You hosted me, and it was literally a life-changing experience for me. And you know how badly I want to get back there. We were going to actually broadcast live from Métis Crossing today, but I am getting on a plane first thing tomorrow morning and heading out to Newfoundland. So unfortunately, lots of airplanes in my life right now, so it hasn't worked out. But let's get started. I can see the numbers rolling up. We've had a record number of registers for today for this happy hour, and I'm super excited to have you here. Let's do housekeeping. I can see the chat going up. So most of you who've been on here before know that the chat is the place to just say hello. Tell me where you're coming from today. Tell me what you've done over the summer. It's been literally 4 months since our last happy hour, and I was completely astonished by the number of consultants that signed up. I think we broke a record today. I think we're over 350. Maybe we're right at our record. So yeah, thank you to all of you. I'm super excited. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Darcie Guarderas, and I'm the Director of Business Development for Anderson Vacations for 10 years. My life right now is very busy because, of course, my passion is Anderson Vacations and all things Canada and South Pacific. But I've also taken on a larger role working with Indigenous tourism businesses across Canada. And every single day, I'm learning. I mean, I've learned so much in the last 4 years. And all I want today for you is to walk away with a better understanding. Just even if you take one thing away that you've learned and you understand better than you did before you came on today, that is all that matters. And I know it's crazy busy because it's the fall, but you're joining me today, and that means the world to me. So I've got a watch on that tells me if someone's sending me a message, and I keep getting a buzz, but it's nothing important. So we're going to jump ahead. We would like to do a land acknowledgement today. And this is actually the Alberta land acknowledgement, because this happy hour is focused on Indigenous tourism in Alberta. We acknowledge the many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit who have lived in and cared for these lands for generations. We are grateful for the traditional knowledge keepers and elders who are still with us today and those who have gone before us. Now, before we jump into this, I missed something when we talk about housekeeping. You're going to hopefully send me some notes in the chats. Don't forget to pay attention, because there are 3 questions at the end of the happy hour, just like usual, and you can win a spot, an actual spot on our Alberta fam trip, which will have some significant Indigenous content, which is really, really important right now. So let's talk about reconciliation through tourism. We like to say tourism is reconciliation in action. I'm going to put my glasses on, because since last time I saw you, I think I got older. Now I need to wear readers, and you'll see in some of the pictures I've aged as well. Okay, so reconciliation through tourism. This is something that is near and dear to my heart. Like I mentioned, I've been working with Indigenous tourism businesses for a very long time, and we all know what's happening this Saturday. It is marks the day for the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. It is a day to reflect on the impact of residential schools and remember those who did not return, and to honor the survivors. So as you can see, I am wearing my orange shirt, and I know that a lot of people wear orange shirts on that day, and that's so important. But I've had people come to me and ask me, like, why are we wearing orange shirts? What is the significance of the orange shirt? And I just wanted to share that with you today, so that you have a better understanding for those of you who are not aware. This symbolizes a residential school survivor. Her name was Phyllis Webstad, and on her first day of residential school, her orange shirt that her auntie had given to her was taken away from her. And so it was never given back to her. So it symbolizes, acknowledging that the damage and the things that have occurred, due to the residential schools. And it's a symbol of what we can do to support and participate in reconciliation through tourism. And I've said this a million times to people in the last couple of years. In the past, Indigenous people wanted to share their stories, and people weren't willing to listen. And now there's such a shift in the way that we look at Indigenous tourism and Indigenous culture altogether. There are actually people who are willing to come and see this, and even pay to experience an Indigenous experience. 1 in 3 international guests coming to Canada they're actually requesting an Indigenous tourism experience. 1 in 4 Canadians are asking for an Indigenous experience. So if we're not learning, understanding, and embracing it, we are missing out on a major, major part of the future for tourism in Canada. And I'm so, so proud to be a part of that. I don't know if you know this, but the last residential school in Canada closed in 1996, and that's not a long time ago. So, we're dealing with things like generational trauma, and working towards just you being here today is a step in the right direction. On Saturday, many people are going to participate in activities all over Canada, maybe going to volunteer, maybe just going to a location where they're honoring the survivors and honoring the culture. And that's doing your part to understand and to learn. So I thank you for that. I'm really privileged to have this platform to stand in front of you and share my feelings and my views on that. And hopefully that'll make a little bit of difference for all of you that have joined today. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more. The beverage today that I'm drinking is actually a tea. It's called Balance. This is out of Alberta, and it's a local Indigenous provider for this tea. It was founded in order to share the teachings of the medicine wheel, and it's using wild, edible, and medicinal plants. And they're all collected on the prairies. And if you read the box very closely, you will see that it actually has raspberry leaf in it. It doesn't taste like raspberry. I don't taste the raspberry. Most of you know I'm not a big fan of raspberry, but it's really yummy and warm, and it keeps my heart happy. So hopefully you're joining me today drinking something that makes you happy. Okay, let's get started. So we love this map. We put this map in here because we wanted to show you just how many Indigenous people are in Alberta. And most of you know this, but there's several languages being spoken in Alberta. We've got Cree, Dene, Stoney, Nakota, Sioux, and Blackfoot. And there's several treaties in Alberta, as well as course, the Métis Nation of Alberta. So this is a great map. It's actually an Alberta Teachers Association map that they use in school to teach the kids exactly where the different regions are in Alberta. So take a look at that. And if you have questions about that, just let me know. The most important thing about really embracing Indigenous tourism experiences is knowing the authenticity of them, and really, and I can tell you from experience that the people that are involved in these experiences are the most beautiful, genuine, loving people I've ever met in my life, and I've had the privilege to spend time with. I'm going to tell you a little bit about each of them that I have met on my journey in the last little while. Now, how do we know that they're authentic experiences? Well, it's important to understand, and maybe none of you have ever heard of this before, but I think this will really build your confidence in being able to offer these Indigenous products and experiences to your clients, and understanding that there actually is something called the Original Accreditation Program. And this program is a mark of excellence that assures visitors a quality touring experience. So in order for an Indigenous experience to be original, it has to be accredited, and they must go through some certain processes. And really what it is showing that it's an authentic Indigenous experience, that when you go there, you're going to be learning, you're going to be immersed into a cultural experience. And every single one I've done, and I've done many across Canada, and in particular Alberta, that I'm going to share with you today, that are truly authentic and beautiful. So one of the first ones I'm going to talk to you about today is Warrior Woman. Actually, it's women, because there's two of them. And in the picture you see in front of you, her name is Matricia Bauer. And I've had the great pleasure of meeting with Matricia at least 3 or 4 times. She is an incredible storyteller. The first time that I met with her, we actually did a fireside storytelling session with her. And it was like a freezing cold night in Jasper. But I didn't want to leave. I was sitting on this chair and I was freezing, but I didn't want to leave because I felt inspired. I felt the emotion in her stories. And I felt, when I left there, I just felt, alive. And I felt like I understood more. Her daughter, Mackenzie Brown, is also one of the Warrior women. And she is like a little firefly. She's got so much energy. She's a beautiful spirit. And again, they do singing, dancing, drumming, all kinds of things. They do a plant walk, and you're going to see a little bit of a plant walk that I did with Matricia. And they also do a virtual medicine walk. Oops, let's jump to the next one. Don't forget to put your questions in the question and answer box, because we do have some people answering those questions, and any comments that you have in the chat box. Here's our first video. This is in Jasper. It was in, I think it was in the spring that we went, and we got to spend the morning with Matricia. We drove all the way from Edmonton just to see Matricia, and it was well worth the drive.
This sage, we're just gonna take a little bit just for environment. This is last year's sage, and you're gonna be really surprised at how fragrant.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I know, it's and it's incredible. And this is how my my elder Dorothy Cottray would take and she would put it into a circle, and then she would light that as a smudge. So
She said on the end of your hair, for your lips, like
face mask, lip balm. You can use it as a hydrating cream. It works really good on like any kind of sore or bee sting, anything that needs to be healed.
And will it solidify?
It will solidify. Yeah, so it'll be like a salve. So it actually ends up looking. I have an extra one like this. So it'll end up looking like that.
Oh, fantastic.
So you're going to hear a little bit of music in the background. I'm going to talk a little bit over this. We did an early morning plant walk, which was just incredible. And I'm going to mention to you, these videos, we're going to send you out the recording if the sound is not great, because I do know that these are, the videos they're done with my cell phone. They're amateur videos. They're very real and authentic, but going on this walk with Matricia was absolutely magical. I learned about her culture, about her people, and her passion for what she does and the history. So this is a great experience for your clients. If they're going to Jasper, I highly recommend it. She does groups. So we can do a group quote for you where we can include this experience. Matricia Brown actually is so well spoken. She did a TED talk, and in that video where you saw where she was making the salve, she'd actually gathered different medicinal plants, and then she allowed me to make the salve. So I got to scrape the natural beeswax. I got to mix everything together, and then she actually poured it into the little containers, and you get to take it away as a gift from your experience. So it's really, really amazing.
Hey, Darcie.
Yep.
Sorry, I think that the PowerPoint might be frozen. So we could hear the video, but we couldn't see it. And
Ooh.
yeah, like it's stuck on the Warrior Women slide, the first
Okay.
Warrior Women slide.
Let me see if I can go back and show that video one more time, okay? Hold on one sec. Let's go back. Can you let me know, Adrian, if it works this time?
Notice about this stage. We're just gonna take a little
No,
bit.
I think you might need to stop presenting and then start presenting again because it seems to be stuck.
Okay. Let me jump to the next slide and I'll go back to that one. Can you see my next slide?
No, it's still not moving.
So do I have to close my PowerPoint?
I think maybe, yeah.
How's that? Hold on. Can you see it now?
Oh, it just started moving a lot.
Okay. How about this one?
Notice about this stage. We're just gonna
There we go.
Thank you.
This is last year's stage, and you're gonna be really surprised at how.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I know. It's and it's incredible. And this is how my my elder Dorothy Cottray would take and she would put it into a circle, and then she would light that as a smudge. So
She said on the ends of your hair, for your lips, like
face mask, lip balm. You can use it as a hydrating cream. It works really good on like any kind of sore or bee sting, anything that needs to be healed.
And will it solidify?
It will solidify. Yeah, so it'll be like a salve. So it actually ends up looking. I have an extra one like this. So it'll end up looking like that.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay, let me know if it's not working. I think it should be working now. I apologize, guys. I didn't realize it wasn't. I can see it on my screen. So yes, you can see that we're doing the morning walk. Hopefully you can see it. Adrian, can you send me a text and let me know if there's any issues, please? Yeah, so you can see that we're walking around and she's telling me the history of her people. It's not coming up here. I'm going to continue unless someone tells me otherwise. Okay, so that was in Jasper, and then we headed back to Edmonton to join Talking Rock Tours. And this gentleman, his name is Keith. Now, this is an Edmonton-based tour, and it is phenomenal. Now, Keith is actually he's a proud Métis, but he's also a geoscientist. So this gentleman knows his way around rocks. And so it's a perfect name for his company, Talking Rock Tours. We spent quite a long time with him, and I was amazed about the knowledge that he has about the Métis culture, as well as he has about geology, the rocks, and so on, and environmental stewardship. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a sample of this tour with Keith. I could spend hours with him listening to him talk.
Anche, Darcie, and welcome to Elk Island National Park. But more importantly, the traditional territorial name of this place was the Whiskeyjack Beaver Hills Lodge. And as we trek on this journey, as we snowshoe today, you'll notice the landscape undulates. And there's a geologic term for that hummocky moraine or cayman kettle. And you could see with the hills and the valleys would be ideal for the beaver. And that's why they're so abundant here. So when you remember when you're supposed to be listening to your teacher back in the day when we were in school, right? We made a lot of paper airplanes. So you can kind of see You fold
Oh, yeah.
them at a 90-degree, like perpendicular to each other. And those folds look like an airplane.
Oh, great.
And then the one that's on the outside
Mhm.
goes under and over.
Perfect.
So we did a lot of walking. We did some snowshoeing around, and he again shared some of the stories of the culture of the Métis people. We did actually get to see some bison, lots of wildlife at this time of year. I wish I knew the date. I can't remember the time of year. Clearly winter time that we went there. And we did go to Elk Island Park. I'm just going to turn this volume down a little bit. You can see that adorable little chipmunk there. He does tours to Elk Island, the Edmonton River Valley, and we did a combination of both tours, which was really great. And then there's actually a Badlands Discovery tour. So it was a ton of fun, super interesting. I learned so much information. I could barely retain all of it. I would actually do this tour again the next time I go to Edmonton because I found it absolutely fascinating and interesting and well worth the time spent. Your clients will love this. And I know that you don't necessarily have a lot of guests asking to go to Edmonton, but if they do happen to be going there for business and they want to extend their stay, great opportunity for families as well. Just awesome. Edmonton River Valley. I'm going to show you a little video and just talk a little bit about Edmonton River Valley. So this valley, it actually has a lot of Indigenous history, and it actually sort of in this area, there's the Indigenous people of various nations, which are the original inhabitants of this valley for over 10,000 years. And there's actually an archaeological site in here that revealed the oldest cultural artifacts, including a bison skull, and it dates back to over 9,000 years ago. So, I mean, there's people in Edmonton who might not even realize that this culture and this history exists right there in the Edmonton River Valley. Another really kind of secret spot in Edmonton that I wasn't aware of prior to this happy hour filming was Whiskeyjack Art House, which celebrates Indigenous culture in Edmonton and around. It is an Indigenous owned art house, and it's operated by Indigenous people. It's got a boutique in there where they sell Indigenous products and food. They support the arts for Indigenous people. And they actually have rotating exhibits. And I'll let you just watch this little video. There's a little bit of music. Just get a feel for some of the things that you will view in this art house. So many people aren't even aware that this exists. And sometimes you have to dig a little bit to find these really special experiences. So what we're doing at Anderson Vacations is spending time with our own team, because there's a lot to learn about Indigenous relations and understanding protocols. One of the things that's really important to understand is that taking the time to get to know the provider and ask some questions. And in most cases, they're very comfortable answering many questions that you might have. And they're honored to be able to share these stories with you. So, take the time to look these up. Again, we're teaching our staff all the time so that they feel more comfortable offering these products to you so that you can offer them to your clients. Another great spot in Edmonton is Fort Edmonton. Now, Fort Edmonton has got all kinds of exhibitions there, but in particular, it has the Indigenous peoples experience, and it's fairly new. And what's really amazing about this is they've actually followed the mantra of Indigenous peoples in Canada of nothing about us without us. They consulted with about 50 Indigenous elders, historians, and educational consultants to make sure that the story is told properly at Fort Edmonton. There's stories, teachings, and memories that have been passed down for millennial in this particular exhibit. well worth it for not only couples and adults, but great for families to learn and to understand. What I recall about going in here is actually a very emotional experience walking in there, and they do have trigger warnings for people to be sure that people understand that they're going into a place, a sacred place, that's really important for the Indigenous people of Edmonton and of Canada. I'm going to show you a little video so you can see inside. It's truly beautiful. It's kind of a calming, spiritual place to go and visit. Let me know in the chat if any of you have been to any of these places in Edmonton, if you've been there or if you're from Edmonton. I'm just curious to know if you were aware that these experiences even existed, because they're now, you're now seeing them in many different locations, which is just amazing. Now we're going to talk about a bit about Metis Crossing. Leon, do you want to come back on for a minute, if you don't mind? Hello.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, Lily Rose! I can barely see you. You're blending into the background. Oh my gosh, I had no idea you were going to be here. Hi.
I made it. Hi.
Well, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm so glad you're here, because you're going to see all the video footage that we took. And I just want to tell everyone who's joined us today how special Lily Rose is. You made me laugh nonstop for the whole entire 2 days that we were there, Lily Rose. And I've actually had people say to me, who I've showed pictures, they're like, you're going to look just like Lily Rose. I can just tell that you're going to look just like Lily Rose. I'm like, really? Like, we could be related. So I think that's an absolute compliment, Lily Rose. And it's such a gift to have you here. Do you want to talk a little bit about just to have you? I can't believe that you're here. Can you tell us a little bit about what you love about Metis Crossing?
Oh, there's so much. Everything about it, right from, it's like home to me. It's to the parks, to the memorial, and to even the domes and the Northern Lights we had the other night, and to the people especially that we have here for guests. And Darcie, I missed you. You're great. I mean, it was great, and we'll see you again when you come to visit. And that's what it's all about. It's like home here, and when you stay here for a bit, like it grows on you, or you grow into it. I don't know what it is, but it's just like we have. I meet so many great people. Like, it's like my lost daughters or my lost sisters. No, lost relatives, I guess. We must be all related somewhere, right? But it's awesome. It is, and I just love it here.
And I know you love it because it comes through in everything that you do, Lily Rose. And I remember the day that I left after being there for 2 days, I actually got emotional. I didn't want to leave because I just felt this kinship with you, Lily Rose. And you know what? Do you remember I asked you about, I wanted to get a ribbon skirt. Do you remember I talked to you about, I said, I've always wanted a ribbon skirt because my background is Métis as well. But, it's back in my history. I wasn't raised that way, but I'm learning and I wanted to understand it. And you said, if you want a ribbon skirt, you go get a ribbon skirt. That's what you said to me. And I don't know if you know this, but you probably don't, but 2 weeks ago, I was in the Yukon and I was hosting a group of Indigenous tour operators from Saskatchewan, and they gifted me a ribbon skirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I cried like a baby because it's such an honor. And to have you here, Lily Rose and Leon, and all of our guests, like, I really didn't know that Lily Rose was coming today. So this is such a wonderful way to to enjoy this happy hour. So everyone, you're just so lucky. And I'm going to show some videos of our experience, Lily Rose. I'm sure you're going to hear your laugh because all we did was laugh for 2 days, and it was a very, very special time. So thank you for joining me. You can stay on here, keep your camera on so I can see your face, and I'm going to show you a couple of videos and talk a little bit about Metis Crossing. So this is when I first got there now, and if I mess up these facts, I have the professionals here. You're in Smoky Lake, which is about an hour and a half northeast of Edmonton, correct? So it's like you're about 10 minutes from Smoky Lake, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and really, it's family friendly. I definitely, you can take families to Metis Crossing, and it's a cultural learning experience in so many ways. Like there's so many ways that you can walk away with these great experiences. And this is really my favorite part of the happy hour today. So I'm going to show you some stuff that really I learned so many things. And one of the things that I love about Metis Crossing that I felt, and I know that you feel this too, Lily Rose, it's a safe place to ask those questions, to ask difficult questions, to learn about the history, the past, the good and the bad, and like really embrace all those things. And I want to talk a little bit about a Métis person, like, because sometimes people ask me, like, what is a Métis person? And really, a Métis person is a post-contact Indigenous person, and then they marry a non-Indigenous person from, like, say, a European fur trader. So that'd be like a First Nations woman and a fur trader getting together, and that's how we have Métis. Is that correct? Do I have the correct definition of that?
Partially, yes. It's also, it's not just necessarily one generation. It's when one, throughout the intermarriage of Métis families to other Métis, when they formed a community, and that forms a nation. Because as an individual, we are not a nation. It takes many. So it's that carrying on to marriage, to those unions and those children. That's what makes the Métis Nation.
Absolutely. And the Métis were the heart of the fur trade, right?
Yes, right.
Okay. Well, I'm going to show a video now to our guests who are joining us for today's happy hour. And this is really when I first met you, Lily Rose, and we were trying on our outfits, our lovely, can you say the name properly?
Capote.
Capote.
They're capote. Yeah, they're capotes.
Oh, okay. So let me show this video and let's see what we can do here.
Take this one down, for example. See the oh yeah. Hold on, you see the back of the hood? Got a hood here, and that's a drop. And that's kind of, you can see it pure around your face, like as a scarf. It's just like you got your scarf with you. That marks here, the traditional marks on the blankets. These are when they originally traded for blankets. That's how many blanket beavers you need to get a blanket. Oh, point blanket. These are called points.
So you had to have that many.
Okay, so Lily Rose, you can explain that again better. I don't know if how much the audio came through for everybody, and we're going to send the recording out afterwards if you want to watch it again. But basically, those points on the capote are to tell when you do the training for the beavers, correct?
That's right. And they're blanket beavers. Blanket beavers are the largest beavers. They're over 4 feet in diameter. They're very large.
And I must say, this capote is extremely warm, and we actually put them on. We didn't take them off for a very long time. We got very cozy in our capotes, and you were nice enough to let me pick whichever one I wanted. So I was very excited about that. So let me jump ahead and see if I've got another video here. I think I do. Let me see. Here we go.
This one.
Okay, so I'm going to talk a bit about the accommodations. Very comfortable. There's this serenity and this peacefulness. I don't think I've slept that well in so long, because I travel all the time. I'm in different hotel rooms all the time, and I slept like a baby when I was sleeping there that night. We actually went out on the balcony late at night and looked at the starry skies. Now, are you a starry sky preserve yet, like a dark sky preserve yet, or you're going to become one?
So we just submitted the application to the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada to become designated as a dark sky preserve. And we thought we had everything in line, and lo and behold, they sort of changed the regulations a little bit during our application process. So we just have a few tweaks to make, and then we resubmit, and then everything should be good to go. So it's in process, and we are expecting it to happen very shortly. So I can assure you that when you come out here at night and you look outside, there's no light pollution. It's dark as it can get. outside of the city for sure.
It is spectacular. And you know what? I really want to encourage all of the consultants that are on here to really consider, getting out here yourselves and seeing this and experiencing it, because the knowledge you'll take away from here, and ask for Lily Rose. Make sure she's there when you're there, because she's like the best. And so you'll walk away with a different understanding of cultures and protocols and history and so on. And the things that you taught me, and I'm going to show you some more videos, but you can see how cozy it is. There was actually a gentleman who came in that day who wasn't staying there. He's a local who just comes in and has coffee because he loves the environment of being there with the people and how friendly everyone is. So that's awesome. This new accommodation, I can't wait to hear how amazing this went for you, because I know that they were opening up for the summertime, the domes, and these are great for families. I think you have ones for families and also for couples, and they've got these like viewpoints so you can see the northern lights and the starry skies. How did it go this summer, you guys? Was it great?
It was amazing. We finished the construction of the domes and we started welcoming people there. And the feedback so far has been incredible. And we are actually developing more. We have some night sky programming around that, and we're developing more with different partners like TELUS World of Science and the Athabasca Geospatial Observatory, which is an observatory that actually specializes in the Northern Lights study. So when you get that Aurora watch on your phone, it's actually coming from a place like this observatory. So they bring that scientific knowledge, but we really turn to our knowledge holders like Lily Rose to bring that cultural connection. And that's what our signature experience Whispers from the Stars is all about, mixing the cultural stories of the night sky and how it was used as wayfinding and some of the mythological stories around that, but then blending it with the observations from a scientific perspective, outlining certain celestial bodies. And we're just enriching that experience. So as we start to develop the programming, we're looking at like really seeing a 2-night, 3-day, maybe even 3 to 4 day experience all around the night skies, only offered in the winter so that we can hopefully see the northern lights. And we're coming to a thing called solar maximum right now. So there's never been a better time or a better chance to see the northern lights than right now. So yeah, lots of great things coming up here at Metis Crossing.
I was exactly going to say that. Like, this is the year. It's actually going to start to decline after this year. So if you're wanting to see the Northern Lights, perfect timing. I like to say this is glamping, but this looks even fancier than glamping. Like, it's just beautiful. And I agree with you guys. Like, Leon, you know what? You can't spend like one night there. It's impossible, because you get there and you get a tiny little taste and then you just want more. So I think 2 nights, 3 days, or even longer is absolutely perfect. So that's great. I can't wait to get back. I promise I will get back in the next 6 months. How about that? I promise. Deal. But I'm only coming if you're going to be there, Lily Rose. Okay. So we actually went snowshoeing. So I'm going to show you a quick little snowshoeing video. This is taking me back to those moments that we were there. We had such a great time. So here's a little video. I don't know if there's any audio on this or not. There might be music. Let's see. You can hear the birds.
Hey, Lily Rose. I just found these jelly beans. Are they okay to eat?
Well, I guess if you're starving, you might get something out of it, but
You try first.
no, that's okay. I like mine chocolate dipped.
You know what I loved? It was so hands-on. You let me try on fur coats, buffalo bison jackets. You let me touch everything, and I got completely immersed. And like I said, it was nothing but laughter. Oh my God. So for anyone who's going to ask what was in my hand, what were those, Lily Rose?
Up pills.
What did you call them?
Smartening up pills. Rabbit goodies. I don't know what you want to call them.
Little
Rabbit beans, bunny beans.
Honey beans. And I did wash my hands before I had lunch. Yes. And here's some great photos, and I have another video coming up, but I actually have a video of me wearing that jacket that's on, I think, my own personal Instagram account, but it was really heavy and so warm. And as you can see in the right picture, Lily Rose is showing me some tufting, and I'm going to show you a video of tufting, which is one of her specialties, which Lily Rose, I'm officially addicted, and I'll show you in a minute what I mean. Hold on one sec. So let me just jump to the next one. Here's another great video of Lily Rose.
Taking, something from baking fire, taken from nature. So when you ever take something, make an offering. It doesn't hurt. To the land that's providing for you. That is very important. In 1878 was the last organized buffalo hunt by the Métis. And buffalo hunting is, you'll learn more of that when we take you on a buffalo tour. There's laws.
Isn't this your, okay, I'm gonna let Lily Rose tell you about this homestead, because I think this was your homestead, right?
Well, it looked like yes, it looks like my old home when I was a child. I was raised in that type of home. That's Cromarty residence, Magnus Cromarty from the 1800s. That's his home. One of the first settlers here.
Awesome. And so the Metis Crossing is actually on the river lots that were the Métis of the past. So there's all these river lots that were there from before, and that's why this is the location that was chosen for Metis Crossing, right?
Yes, that's right. Yep.
Awesome. Perfect. Okay. And then Tales from the Trapline. I'm telling you, Lily Rose, okay, one of the things that I really took away was the offering, and really being aware of when I take something from the land to give something back. Even today, before we did this presentation, I always get nervous. I mean, I've done like 30 of them, but I still get nervous, and all of my team knows that. And so I do this walk around the yard, and I talk to the trees, and I try and get my courage up. And then I actually have a caribou, a little piece of caribou antler that was given to me, and I kind of like, okay, this is my, but I went to pick something off a tree, and I thought, oh, I can't do that. I don't have anything to offer. And I've learned that from you, and I've learned that from many other elders and knowledge keepers. So I appreciate that I'm learning all these amazing things. So I'm going to show you this video, everyone, Tales from the Trapline. And you still have your own trapline, do you not, Lily Rose?
No, not anymore. I think I retired from that. I retired sometimes from something.
Going to that area. You read your land. What kind of tracks do you have? So what's in the area? It's a natural thing to do. So we come to a spruce tree, and you're looking all the spruce and see where they've been digging in the ground where they have their food, stored. So you find a nice pole, and you set your snares on the pole.
Okay, and then we got to feel these beautiful firs, and Lily Rose explained to me which all of them were. I think I kind of guessed which ones they were, but you've got all these great buildings where you can go and do different activities, which is what I love too. You're not always in the same place. You can move around to these different facilities. So we were in here, and we learned a little bit about the firs and trapping, which was really interesting. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about bison viewing, and see these bison. These are the white bison, correct? Is that right? These are white. Okay, so yeah, but they're not albino. They're actually just white bison, because that's the first thing I said when I saw them. I'm like, oh, albino bison, and it was like, no, that's not the case. Correct?
It's a variation on the regular bison. So this is a mix between a plains and a wood bison that ended up with a dominant white coat, and they've been selectively bred to bring out this recessive trait.
They're beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I do have a little video as well. I do know that there's an organization called Visions, Hopes, and Dreams at Metis Crossing, and the wildlife park there. And so that gentleman there was bringing these bison back. So it's like he's returning. It's the return of the heritage species to the traditional Métis lands. So that was his plan, and it's going beautifully. So I'm going to show you a little video of these bison. So these are some of the darker colored bison as well, and there was tons of them. We actually went out on a little kind of 4x4 ride, and we got to see all these bison, the white bison, and these, and then also we got to see these are caribou. Am I correct? These are caribou, right?
Elk.
Oh, they're elk. Okay, these are elk. But what was really fun was we were like they said if we kept really quiet, they would come closer to us. But yeah, as you can see right here, they're actually going the other direction. So they didn't come. But it was really amazing. Again, these are the white bison. And then you hear the person that's taking you on the tour, you'll hear all about the history and everything of these bison. So it's really fascinating. And the cultural side and what they mean, and how bison contributed to the survival of the Indigenous people, the Métis people in particular that we're talking about today, using every single piece of the bison, not just the furs, but the bones, everything, the food, for absolutely everything. There is no waste, which is amazing. And again, how when Indigenous people harvest an animal, that they give back. And that was something that really touched my heart, and I learned so much about from you. So let's see, jump to this. Okay, I love this slide because look at all the colors. Like this is a perfect slide explaining the day that we had that day. I learned so much, and I have some really fabulous videos. And you inspired me because I'm doing some of these crafts now, and I'm learning and practicing. I'm going on a trip tomorrow to Newfoundland, and I'm actually taking my big bag of stuff so that when I have some downtime, because there's no Wi-Fi, I'll be able to do this. So I'm going to show you my first video of fish scale art. I think we actually spent a few hours the first day, and then I said to Lily Rose, can we please go back and do some more? And she said, sure. And then you met me the next morning, and also Adrian from our team, our marketing manager, she came as well, and we did a little bit more. So this is the fish scale art.
I'm here with Lily Rose, and we're doing fish scale art. So as you can see, there's all kinds of colors. They're so vibrant, so beautiful. And so far, this is what I've done. This is the beginning of a flower. And I'm working on my second one here. So I'm working with some orange, beautiful orange fish scales. And they've clearly been dyed. But you can do them with natural white as well. But what a fun thing to do. You should actually probably get some tweezers to do it. But you just lay them like that. And I'm creating a little flower. So we're working on 2 or 3 at a time. It's sort of relaxing, and you end up with a beautiful piece of Métis art.
I love the colors. I mean, you can do them with natural fish scales as well, right? Is that correct, Lily Rose?
Yes, you can, yeah.
Okay, was this something that who taught you to do these things?
Oh, I've had to go back quite a few years. Probably what I learned maybe a little more when I took a course back in '94 in Portage College at La Clabiche. They had done it in there. So I've heard of it, and I tried a bit, and I remember going to college. I took a course there, and so we pick it up from the.
You're a great teacher. And I'm going to show you now tufting. This is my addiction, tufting. I absolutely love this. And the product is so, so beautiful.
If you're coloring it or, dyeing it, you'd make these, you'd take this white, and that'd be the ones for dyeing. Some of this is not good. You want this hair to be as straight as possible. You just need a strip like that. So we'll take this strip right here. You don't want to cut on the hair side because you want to maintain the hair. So we got that out. There we go. We just take this piece out. Now, that piece, when I'm going to make a tuft with, I only need this amount. So this piece is going to come. I can cut this one here. Just slide it in between here, the hair. That's what you guys are going to tuft. We are going to take and dampen our fingers. And go like this, just dampen it. You also take all the loose hairs out, see? And they don't fly all over the place. Just nice and damp.
Okay, so this was so fun. One thing I forgot to do since we learned was I forgot to wet my hands. So that's reminding me to wet my hands well next time because I had loose hairs everywhere. And,
what have you been doing? You were licking your fingers instead?
I should have been, but I wasn't. But now I will. Moving on. But I want to show everyone a piece of I still have a piece of the deer hair that you gave to me. I've tried and I've used quite a bit of it, but this is a piece and this is natural. But I also ordered this is caribou, actually, this other piece. It's blue, so it comes in different colors. And you can see that it's loose because this used to be a much larger piece, but I could not figure out how to tie it. I just couldn't figure out how to tie it. So I've now learned, I've learned how to tie it. And Lily Rose, you're going to be so proud of me. Wait till you see this.
Wow.
I know.
Oh my goodness, very
I did-
artistic.
I did it myself. I'm going to put it on my jean jacket, and I actually just got some leather. So that's a really amazing experience. Now we've had someone who's asked a question, Lily Rose, a little bit more about giving back. What, like, I not understanding what we mean by giving back when you take something from the land and you give something back. Can you elaborate a little bit on that, please?
Yes, when you're taking something from Mother Nature, you give her back some tobacco and a prayer, and thank her for sharing with you her resources. And that's what you mean by giving back, is making that offering of tobacco, or you can sometimes offer different things. If you don't have tobacco, you can sometimes offer tea. You can offer a ribbon or something personal like that. It's what you want to give, but it's just also to say a prayer and say thank you.
Someone just recently asked me to, if I could find, because I live on Vancouver Island, if I could find eagle feathers, which there happens to be an abundance of close to where I live. So I said, of course, I'll get those for you. And then she said, but please make sure when you take them that you leave tobacco or an offering on her behalf. So I said, okay, I understand that. So it's become sort of a part of now what I think about when I'm doing that too. So thank you for sharing that, Lily Rose. That's really important to understand. So hopefully that answers the question for whoever asked. Here's some beading, a little bit about beading. I wasn't the best beater. I'm going to admit right up front, I wasn't like the best, but I'm learning. I'm still going to keep trying, but here's a little video on that.
Exactly in that spot where you're going.
Yeah, wherever it ends up that you're lined up,
Okay.
you're not gonna go, see?
Okay, and now you go back up.
Now, as you go around, just gotta learn this. Where's your needle? I haven't seen trouble.
So you just poke it up a few times so you find the right spot.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
there.
close. Now you see, you go over the thread.
Oh, that's tacking it down.
That's called tacking. So you go in between a couple of beads. That's why you gotta allow. You can't crowd your beads because you gotta allow for the thread.
To go in between.
And you turn it over here this way, and then you.
So do you have to tack that whole?
Yeah, you gotta tack that whole.
And then each time you do a row, you have to tack it?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. You get going.
It's like being in school again. That was kind of it's kind of like feeling the pressure.
So how many times do you think you have to?
Every second bead is approximately.
Okay, every second bead.
So
So
guaranteed it's every second bead because I couldn't.
so on the inside or the outside of the bead?
It's either way, but I always use the outside so I can kind of coming up, because in the inside of the bead you always don't see the needle end very good.
Right.
I feel like I'm not the best at focusing for long periods of time. So that's why I had a hard time with beading, but I loved it. And I loved like I can't show you the final product because I don't have the final product here. I don't think it's in the video or anything, but really awesome experience.
Good student, very good student you were.
Thank you. I'll come back in a heartbeat. Okay, so I'm going to explore a few other places. We still have, hopefully you're going to hang in here with me, all you guys, because it's, we're getting it at 2:52. I'm going to go over my hour. I'm sorry, because I want to show you, I'm going to do a little cooking demonstration at the end. That's going to be really fun. So don't leave me unless you really have to, please. And Lily Rose, you can stay on as well. I'm going to talk about a few other places that are in Alberta that Indigenous Tourism Alberta supports, and we love to support. And we know these experiences are great because Anderson Vacations is already booking some of these experiences, like Painted Warriors Ranch, where you can go here and try archery, horseback riding. They celebrate, the people actually own it are Ojibwe, Cree, and Mohawk. So they're all kind of woven together. And this is located in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, actually. So they reconnect the land, and they do it through wilderness education. They do hands-on training. They share their Indigenous traditions. They even have glamping as well. I mentioned horseback riding, snowshoeing, and then they do workshops and storytelling. So really awesome for groups. And Tracy is just an amazing, amazing lady. So this is something that we're already offering in addition to, of course, Metis Crossing. Heritage Park has actually added, they're really, stepping into this role of honoring the Indigenous people. There's a first First Nations encampment at Heritage Park, where there's a fur trading post. They have this yellow teepee that you can see in the left-hand side, and they do Indigenous interpretation. There are celebrations here throughout the year, and then actually on September 30th, they will be honoring residential school survivors. So if you want, I don't know if people are going to take the day off work, but I always encourage people to keep learning, to keep trying to understand, and awareness is key. So if you have the opportunity to go to an event in your area to really learn, please do so. Last year, I volunteered at Indigenous Peoples Day in the park here in Nanaimo, and they put me in charge of axe throwing, which probably wasn't the best thing because I've never thrown an axe before in my life. But I was there and I was learning, and I was just getting to know people, asking questions. Calgary Stampede as well. They have Elbow River Camp, and this is where you can experience the cultures of First Nations of Treaty 7. There's 26 teepees here. Probably many of you have gone, but sometimes people go to Calgary Stampede and they don't even realize what an incredible experience it is to have these Indigenous opportunities here. They have local artisans, they have Bannock and jam, which I'm going to show you how to make in a minute, traditional dancing and more, and they have powwow demonstrations. And my absolute favorite thing of the Stampede, I'm not joking, this is before I even became involved in Indigenous tourism, I was addicted to Indigenous relay. They used to call it another name, but what an amazing sport where they go bareback around like it's a relay, and they jump from one horse to the other. And I saw a guy go from one horse, his feet touched the ground, and he went onto the back of the next horse. It is spectacular. So if you're going to Stampede next year and you're in the Calgary area, you've got to go see the Indigenous relay races. They're amazing. Head Smash Gin Buffalo Jump is a World Heritage Site, and it is 15 minutes north and west of Fort McLeod. And this is a great spot if you want to learn about the buffalo hunt. Of course, it is the Buffalo Jump. It preserves and interprets over 6,000 years of Plains buffalo culture. There's 7 floors of exhibits here, and high season, you can do a guided experience, and the rest of the time it's just self-guided, but it's well worth going there to see this as well. Okay, so I'm going to turn my camera off for 1 second so that you don't get car sick. How do I do it? No, I can't turn my camera off, so you're going to get car sick or motion sick. Yeah, my camera's staying on. You're coming with me to my kitchen, all right? Okay, you're coming with me. You can actually see my house. Normally we have this set up so that I can just have it ready, but it didn't work today. So welcome to my kitchen. 1 second. Here we are. We're in my kitchen. I'm gonna take off my glasses. All right, so we're going to do a little bannock making demonstration if you're still with me. And I got to tell you that my grandma made bannock when I was a kid. And at that time, I didn't even really understand or know that I had Métis background. But now I'm learning all these things and it all makes sense, right? It all makes sense, all the stories and things. And I'm learning from my mom who's done our family history. And she told me stories that I've just 3 nights ago, stories I didn't know. And so it's a very exciting time for me. But my grandma would make bannock. She actually did what was called fry bread. She called it bannock, but she deep fried it. The one that I'm going to show you how to make is not deep fried. It's actually baked, and I've got all my ingredients here ready to go. I didn't have time to put on my apron. I just wanted to also point out that I am wearing my orange shirt today because I am flying on Saturday. So I'll be wearing it, but I won't be able to show you. Okay, so we start out with 4 cups of flour. But actually, you know what I did? 4.5 cups. I halved the recipe because I'm flying tomorrow and I can't possibly eat that much bannock between now and tomorrow. So I actually halved the recipe. So I'm going to add it to my bowl right here. So that is 2.25 cups of flour. I just use white flour. If you want to be healthy, I'm sure you can use whole wheat flour, but I'm pretty sure that my Indigenous relatives would say just use white flour. So I'm going to stick with the white flour. It asks for 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Let me just measure those up. I've got my measuring spoon and I've got, I think this is almost exactly the same as what my grandma used, but hers was a metal tin. Do you remember those, Lily Rose, when it came in metal tins?
Yes.
Do you make this for your family?
Oh yeah, but my husband now, I'm over here and he's at home. He loves making. He's a better bannock maker than me.
Really?
Yeah, he is.
Do you fry it or do you bake it?
He bakes it and he makes it also fried bread.
Yeah.
But But yeah, he makes the bannock and the fried bread, so.
Both
I
of
mean, hey, I made enough in my lifetime, I think.
Last week when I was in Saskatchewan, I had bannock 3 times in one day. So-
Yeah, all my life was staple. It was a staple in the house.
Yeah, I'm gonna add the salt, just a little bit of salt. I used half of what the recipe's calling for, and then I'm gonna add the water very quickly here. And then, so this is supposed to be 2 cups, but it's only 1 cup. And let's just pretend that I'm putting the lard in because I forgot it in the fridge. Okay. I got distracted. So then you're just going to mix up. This is the key thing when you're making bannock that I learned is that you don't get in there and just mix the crap out of it. You actually get in there very gently and you just gently mix it up from the, it's from the middle to the outside or the outside to the middle? From the middle to the outside. Just very gently. And I must tell you a quick story that I made. I had a bannock making competition when I was up in Opaskwayak First Nation in Manitoba with my friend Holly, who is Peguis First Nation. And she didn't tell me she's been making bannock for over 20 years. So when we finished making our bannocks, we had judges and no one even tasted my bannock. They all went for Holly's. It was perfect. And that was a fry bread as well. So you mix it all very gently and then you knead it a little bit afterwards, but don't mix it too much because you don't want it to get tough. Okay. So that's kind of what it would look like. And then we'd mix it up. And because we're due for time, I'm not going to go ahead and do everything, but you make it into little biscuits kind of thing. And here is my finished, because I made some this morning. So I may have already had one today. I'm just going to say. So and it's addictive. It really is. So I'm going to show you really quickly what my gram did. So I'm opening it up. Usually I like to eat it warm. It's much better warm. But my gram would actually serve it with this, with Rogers Golden Syrup.
Yeah, that's a tradition.
Is that what you did too? And then, you know what she'd do? She wouldn't just give us the syrup. She'd actually take the butter and she'd mix it together and make a paste.
Oh.
So you'd mix it like this. Make a little paste of butter. Oh, if I get this on my laptop, I'm in trouble.
Honey too. Honey
would be good too. And then you make this paste and then you mix it up like that. And then you put it on your bannock like this. I bet you're jealous that you can't have this. Oh my goodness. So delicious. Okay. You know, Anderson, you want some? I know you do. At Anderson Vacations, we have all kinds of packages. Everything we do is custom made. We want to incorporate Indigenous experiences, and we're going to continue to do that. Please ask your consultant when you talk to them for an Indigenous experience for your clients. They're asking for them. We want to deliver them. No more paper brochures, all online. You can get them off the website. Just download them, share them with your clients. There's more and more Indigenous experiences coming all the time. Alberta, if you live there, it's your own backyard. Get out there and explore it. Make sure you go to the travel agent portal on our website and sign up. I'm sure most of you have because you're getting invites to our happy hours. One thing I want to tell you about, and I don't think I told this to Lily Rose. Let me swallow. Okay. We believe in stewardship. We believe in Anderson Vacations to do the right thing. And that is why we want to support these Indigenous tourism businesses and do everything we can to be part of the solution. We also work with Trees for Travel. And Trees for Travel is a great way to combat carbon emissions. Forest restoration is one of the most effective solutions to fight climate change. So every time your clients make a booking, or you make a booking on behalf of your clients with Anderson Vacations, we are planting trees on their behalf. And it's making a difference. It really does make a difference because people always ask, what can I do? What can I do to make a difference? And the same with Indigenous tourism. I can't teach you everything because I don't know everything. But if you walk away today with one little thing that you might have thought, oh, I didn't think of that, or I didn't know about Orange Shirt Day, and maybe I will go participate in an event on Saturday, then it's all worthwhile for you to be here today. Now it's prize time. Here are the questions. I'm going to leave them on here for a little bit. But what is the significance? This is number one. What is the significance of September 30th? You all know this. Please email your answers to happyhours@Anderson Vacations, not to me because I'm flying tomorrow and I won't answer them because I won't have time. Where can you find white bison? Okay, well, if you just look at the 2 people in the corner there, they'll give you a hint. And number 3, please name one thing that may have impacted your day today, something that you're walking away with from the happy hour today that maybe makes you look at things a little bit differently. And you know what? I am going to be traveling for the next couple of weeks, but I want you to reach out to me if you have questions. If you're not comfortable asking people and you want to know more, I don't know everything, but I'm more than happy to share what I've learned from these beautiful people that I have here on my screen and many other incredible Indigenous people all over Canada. We are blessed to be in a time where we celebrate, and we will continue to celebrate Indigenous peoples from Canada, and we will make all the wrongs. We won't make them right, but we'll do everything we can to honor the people who've been hurt in the past and help uplift and create a safe space for everyone. So these answers have to be in by, what day is today? How about by end of day tomorrow? I don't think I have any more other slides, just a thank you with some lovely beading. I'm going to leave these on after we hang up, but I see that the majority of you did stay on for the entire time. And I know I went over, and I apologize for that. Thank you for your patience with some of the technical difficulties we had halfway through. I'm so grateful to be here with you, and I'm so grateful that you take the time to, I know you're busy, and you sign up for these happy hours and you join us. And two incredibly special people for joining me today, Leon and Lily Rose. I love you guys to bits. I cannot wait to see you again. I promise I'll be there soon. To Adrian and Jesse, who help with these happy hours, and they really are, the heart of what we do. And to all of my team in Anderson Vacations, who rock and really take great care of all of you. I can't wait to read the chat. I haven't looked at one for like 4 months, so I'm very excited about that. Thanks again for joining me. I will leave these questions up, and we'll see you hopefully soon. We've got happy hours on Adventure Canada. We've got Indigenous Tourism Saskatchewan coming up. We've got Drumheller coming up. So we've got lots to share with you. Have a wonderful rest of your week and a beautiful long weekend if you're taking one. And I do hope you find something really important and special to do on September 30th. Bye, everyone. Bye, guys. Since I can't turn my camera off, I'm just going to step out like this until you guys look at the questions. Bye, everyone.